Hi, this is Rajat here from StartupFrat, and today we are going to talk about the key question, which if you're a business owner or a salesperson, you'd probably have seen many times in your sales interactions. And if you're a customer, you probably ask this question every single time during your purchase interactions. And the higher the ticket size of the purchase interaction, which means the more expensive the product or service, the more chances that you're going to ask this question at some point, okay, which is, will this work for me? Will this work for me? Okay, I have this travel deal, I can go to Manali. Can this really work for me? Can I really do this? I have a road trip going to Ladakh. Should I really do this? Is this really for me? Okay, will this work for me? If you are going to a gym, taking a gym membership, you see a person with a good healthy physique, you're not that healthy, a little rounded up perhaps like I am right now, and you think, is this thing for me? Can I ever be like this? Will this ever work for me, right? Mutual fund investments, any kind of investment, Bitcoin is going to make you money, mutual fund is going to make you money, retirement funds, share market, trading, whatever. And you're thinking, is this for me? Okay, is this for me? Okay, now my answer to you is, if you ever ask me this question as a consumer, which means you ever met me in a consultation, if you've ever met me on a webinar where there has been a chance for you to purchase any of our paid products or something, and if you've ever asked me this question, you will know that I never answer this question. If you're a salesperson or a business owner or somebody, my recommendation to you is, there is no answer for this question. Okay, so never answer this question. And I'll tell you exactly why in this video. By the end of this video, I'm going to promise you a couple of solid places where you can get some very good training and everything, but you'll have to take some actions for that, and I can totally guarantee you that's going to be worth your while. So just watch till the end. Okay, this is a very, very important question. Nobody's talking about it. Usually we talk about it in a high ticket sales formula in the Academy program. So if you're an Academy program member, you exactly know where this fits in, inside your Academy program. So this forms part of something which is called a express highway approach that we use in the high ticket sales formula. And what we teach is, or what we recommend is, that you should build an express highway which has free stretches of run going in one direction only, and it has some toll plazas, and then free stretches of highway going in one direction only, and some toll plazas, and before the customer pays toll at every single point, they have the option to exit. Okay, that's called the express highway approach. I have different videos inside this group that talk about how the express highway approach works in different scenarios. So if you scroll up and down, you'll find them. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you just Google or just search express highway approach StartupFrat, you'll find the videos. Okay, so how does the whole thing work, and why do we not answer this question? There are different stages of a customer interaction with your business. Okay, there are different stages in a customer interaction with your business, and usually customers who have known you very less, or who have seen you for the first time, second time, seen your product for the first time, you grab their attention, grab their interest, they are less likely to ask this question. The only customers who ask this question is who have already spent a lot of time thinking about your product, who have already examined your product, your pricing, your services, all the different items, terms, conditions, everything in great detail, and they are at a point of signing. Okay, they're at a point of signing. So if they're at a point of signing, why do I recommend you don't answer this question? Because there is something called talking past the sale. There's something called talking past the sale. No salesperson should ever do that. There's a point after which your job is done. It's like the express highway. A customer decides they want to pay toll, go through, or they want to exit. Those are the two choices. Nothing that you say can actually make or break the decision for them at that point. In fact, anything that you do or say shall and will be used against you in a court of law, which means it could spoil your spiel. Okay, now let me just take my notes over here just to make sure I've covered all the points that I have written down. Okay, now the easy answer for you as a salesperson, or for me when I'm presenting my paid programs or whatever, is to say, yes, this is over for you for 1, 2, 3 reasons. This is the customer who it has already worked for, they're part of your industry, exactly like you, etc., all of those things. So why do I say you should never answer it? There is something called top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel in sales. Okay, top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel in sales, and this particular objection happens in the bottom of the funnel. Okay, now this particular objection has two basic roots. Okay, there are many different roots of why people have different objections, different concerns, why they don't take action and things like that. Okay, In the bottom of the funnel, we call this type of objection, this type of question, will this work for me? This is something called an internal barrier. This is something called an internal barrier. I want you to evaluate this as a customer, which means you are a buyer. Sometimes you ask yourself this question, will this work for me? And also as a salesperson or business owner, which means you are the business owner, you're the salesperson, your customers are going to ask you this question. Okay, internal barrier. Okay, an internal barrier is formed exactly at which stage? Customers have actually, you have grabbed their attention. Okay, they've gone through your product offerings, they've asked about you here and there, they've probably done enough of Googling, YouTubing, cross-referencing with their friends and family, and they come to a point where it's time for them to decide. This time for them to decide. They know everything, you've showed them everything, you've told them everything, this is the price point, this is when we start, these are the terms, let's do it. Okay, and that's when this barrier comes up. That's why it's called an internal barrier. There are two major sources of this barrier. The two sources are, they might be asking for information. Will this work for me? What information can you provide me that helps me to digest that it will work for me? And the second thing is assurance. Okay, assurance, which is just want another human being to hold my hand and tell me that yes, this is going to work for you. This is going to work for you, my child. Let's do this together. I'm there with you. Information and assurance, two things that they need. There are different types of internal barriers. Towards the end of this 2 or 3 part training, I will give you the resources where you can learn all about it, master and become a ninja at your game if you're a salesperson or business owner. But for right now, let us assume there's just two things, information and assurance. Now, information is not the reason a customer usually asks this question. And why is that? Because you already spent an entire cycle giving them the information. So the key reason is not really information. So what is the reason they're asking this question? The reason is assurance. The reason is assurance. And the next reason, you could say assurance or belief. Assurance or belief. Assurance or belief. Okay. Assurance is something you can probably give them, hold their hand, say, it's going to be okay, my child, come with me, let us walk through these dark waters, I'm there with you, holding you, I'm going to be your shepherd, whatever. Okay, belief is something that they need to have on themselves, because to get any type of result in anything, they need to be able to take some actions. Even in business building, I'm a coach for business building, marketing, teaching you sales. I can give you the best sales book on the planet. Okay, it's called How to Sell Anything to Anybody. I'll give you the best sales book on the planet, and you will take it in your hand, and there is no guarantee that you will succeed with it or not unless you have the belief system that helps you take all of the steps that are mentioned in that book consistently over a period of time for years together till you actually become the kind of person who attracts all that success. Okay, so clearing their belief won't help if they have a belief problem. Giving them assurance won't help because there are multiple steps involved. There are multiple steps involved in them achieving any particular result. Your product is just one of the little things that helps them achieve that result. There is no product in the market guaranteed. There is no product ever made in the market no single product that can help a person achieve any possible result whatsoever. Unless it's like weed killer for 200 rupees that you can buy on Amazon. Please put weed killer all over your house, you won't get cockroaches. Yeah, that kind of product will probably give you the the result. But if you want any compounded complex result that's kind of a little more evolved than simple commoditized, can I buy some soap, wash my hands, will they make that clean? Yes, the answer is yes. No customer ever asks a question for that sort of product. People ask this question where it's a more evolved goal. Will they go to the gym and lose weight? Yes or no? Will they do this X, Y, and Z thing and make money? Yes or no? Will they be able to go to this guitar class, be able to learn how to play the guitar? Will they be able to go to this couples counseling and actually the husband and wife stop fighting? Will they really be able to go to anger management and become a better parent? Will they really be able to take that PUBG course and become a better PUBG player? Will that gaming chair of 15,000 rupees really help them get those extra points in PUBG, etc., etc., etc.? These are complex results where your product probably provides one or two of the big kind of inputs that will help them get down that road. But if they have a belief problem or assurance problem, they will not go there. Now, quick tip for you. Assurance in a salesperson increases. Assurance in a salesperson increases the less they bend over and try to convince. The less you bend over and try to convince your customer, the more the customer will have an assurance in you as the right party to go with. You as the right party to go with. Okay, you look at all the different products on the planet, the people who have fixed prices, the products which are premium, the products that don't bend over backwards for their customer. You take Apple, for example, iPhones, number one, the most expensive, but the number one highest selling. Why? Assurance comes from a product or a product seller being unbending, because they know they have the right thing for the right amount of people. If you, Mr. Customer or Miss Customer, think it's not for you, you're probably right, because you're not the right kind of person that will be able to utilize this product to its best possible advantage. Okay, now the moment you hold that kind of stance, okay, you will see that the customer assurance actually increases. They're like, wow, this person has so much posture, they must be right. They must be right. They must have a reason for having that posture, which is probably a lot of customers are seeing the value. Probably they don't need my business. And if that is the reason, then I want to do business with them. Then I want to do business with them. Okay. So this is the one thing. Now, if you are a business owner or a sales and marketing person who's been watching all kinds of different information on the internet, and the world has totally changed in the last 1 or 2 years, digital was there for the last 5 or 10 years, changing the game, etc. And then, 100 Mbps internet happened. A small producer, content producer like you or me could suddenly become as big as a big brand immediately, because, I'm putting this video out in front of you over 100 Mbps of upload speed, right? And the third thing was that the slowdown or the lockdown has made it imperative that people figure out ways to do business and to appear on top, because there's not a market space for everybody to exist. The market space is contracted, right? So you really need to reinvent in order to stay on the top. If you were on the top, and if you were in the middle, if you're in the bottom, you really have to reinvent to survive, otherwise you're finished, right? So this is the kind of time when sales and marketing people and business owners, which is people like you guys that I service, if you have ever been faced with this question saying, should I do this, should I do that, do I need to learn more sales, do I need to hire more people, do I need to go digital, do I need Facebook ads, do I need a website, or whatever it is that a lot of people ask, I'm a financial advisor, will this work for my industry? No financial advisor has had a personal website before, for example. No financial advisor actually does this kind of things in this space. It's only the big companies that do it. It's only the solopreneurs that do it. It's only the digital guys that do it. Only the techies that are doing it. Does this work for me in my industry, etc. If you've been faced with these changes in the last 1 or 2 years, and you've ever asked yourself this question, I have 2 little secrets for you, and then I have an action point, and then I'm going to see you tomorrow or day after. Okay, the 2 little secrets are, okay, you go with something called first principles. There's something that Elon Musk coined, the first principles, because he built all of his companies from ground up, recreating the wheel at every step. And they said, why do you recreate the wheel? Why don't you just buy from the market? He's like, because I want to go down to first principles, which is the basics, okay, which is the basics. So always go down to first principles. For me, I've built my career. I quit the world of medicine within my first 2 years of hospital job, and being from a very prestigious college, so I had all the options, all the cards in my hand. But the first principle said that the people who become rich and famous, the people who are doing sales and marketing, not the doctors. In 20 years, my mentor told me, in 20 years, the skills market will be replaced by the results market, which means if you can do sales and marketing, get a product out in the market, people not care what skill you have, and people with the skills will get paid lesser and lesser over time. That seemed to me right, because that had already happened in many other developed countries of the world, right? The second first first principle was, if you're into sales and marketing, do everything possible to expand your reach. Because if the people don't know you, if they've never seen you, then the expansion of reach is going to get you more results than getting better at convincing, for example. Yeah, if 1,000 people know you, you could be horrible at convincing, okay, and you'll still get 2 customers. But if you have only 5 people to talk to, you could be the best at convincing. What are the chances you're going to get 2 customers? Not many chances. Okay, so they were first principles. So working with first principles, I went into sales, learned how to do sales, hand-to-hand sales, in-field sales. Then I learned how to do telemarketing sales, because you could call 300 people in a day. You started with 70 or 100, and then we said, okay, let's put an auto dialer. Nobody was using an auto dialer for selling high-ticket items like IT contracts. Yeah, so we said, okay, let's increase in the amount of reach. Those are the first principles. Then digital came. I tried my best to learn all the Facebook ad. You'll see some of my ads here and there. All of this I've learned myself. Why? Because first principles are never wrong. You build on top of first principles, even though you may not be sure that it works for you. Okay, so the first question is that when the principle is strong enough, the facts don't count. You may fail, you may lose money. How do I know whether it works for you or not? But these are first principles. If you don't do it, there is more to lose than doing it. You could do it and still lose. Yeah, but if you don't do it, you will lose. You will lose long term, guaranteed. The second thing is you can only accelerate from a running position. You can't accelerate from a sitting position, which means if you're not doing anything, then you first need to do something to figure out if it's going to work for you or not. Okay, you can't figure out from a sitting position. You can't be sitting and then running at 10 kilometers an hour the next minute. You can only accelerate to 10 kilometers an hour if you're already jogging, if you're already at least walking or fast walking or something like that, right? You can only reach a speed where you see the truth, okay, from a running position or from a sprinting position, not from a sitting position. So people who sit around and say, oh yeah, this thing is never going to work because X, Y, and Z, that is not never going to work. They don't know. They don't know. What are they talking about? Unless you know for sure, you can't be sure. And you cannot know for sure unless you've tried it, and you cannot try it unless you have that perspective of first principle, saying if it matches the first basic principles and the principle is strong enough, if it's a fundamental principle, the facts don't count. Even if you do get failure in your initial tries, you're still going to grow from the experience, just like Elon Musk did, building rockets up from scratch. Okay, that's the message I have for you. Now I have some very special trainings for you coming up tomorrow and day after, and if you want those gifts, if you want to see it, what I want you to do is type your best possible comments in here. What were your takeaways? What is the scenario in which you have seen this happen to you, where you have questioned yourself, is this going to work for me? Give me a scenario, okay, and I'm more than happy if you write it in the comments. I'll be guaranteed to reply to them. Okay, I'll be guaranteed to reply to them. Why I'm asking you to put comments? Because there's 20,000 plus people in this group. Only about 2,000 people will ever see this video. So if you keep commenting, Facebook will show you the next training. If you stop commenting, Facebook will stop showing you these trainings. Okay, so I hope I get to see your comments, and do let me know what were your takeaways, and I will see you tomorrow or maybe day after. See you. Bye bye.